What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut, and today we are going to be discussing the Brandon Marshall trade, which occurred back on April 14th, 2010. Now, this trade is a continuation of the Jason Campbell trade, and it was previously discussed in the old Trent Richardson trade, both of which will be linked in the description below, but I decided that Brandon Marshall more than deserved his own trade breakdown. Now, after a successful 4-year stint in Denver, Marshall, he essentially forced his way out of the city. He was unhappy with his contract, and he blamed the team's doctors for misdiagnosing a hip injury. Now, Denver was more than happy to get rid themselves of the wide receiver, and Miami was more than happy to take a chance on him. So how did this trade work out? We'll start by discussing the Miami Dolphins, who got wide receiver Brandon Marshall. Now, Marshall would immediately sign a new 4-year contract with the Dolphins, and he had a strong first year in Miami, registering 86 receptions for 1,014 yards and 3 touchdowns. He would improve a bit in 2011, as he would catch 81 passes for 1,214 yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, he would end up getting traded away before the 2012 season, as the team wasn't playing well enough to justify keeping him around at his current contract. All said and done, he was a one-time Pro Bowler for the Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins would ship him to the Chicago Bears in exchange for a pair of draft picks, a 2012 third-rounder and a 2013 third-rounder. Now, the 2012 third-rounder would become the 73rd overall pick and would be traded to the San Diego Chargers. Now, they would trade to San Diego in exchange for the 78th and 183rd. So the 78th pick in the 2012 draft was used to select tight end Michael Agnew. Now, Agnew, he didn't record any stats as a rookie, and he would catch 7 passes for 69 yards in 2013, but he didn't even make the team in 2014, so not the best pickup. Now, the 183rd pick would be used to select wide receiver B.J. Cunningham, and Cunningham was waived after a single training camp with the team. Not the best duo of pick players for Miami. Now, Miami also got a 2013 third rounder from Chicago. That would become the 82nd pick, and they would trade this one to the New Orleans Saints in exchange for a pair of picks later in the draft, the 106th and 109th. So the 106th pick would be used to select tight end Deion Sims. Now, Deion Sims surpassed Agnew as a rookie, and he would serve as the team's backup tight end. He would spend 4 years as the team's backup tight end, although he did earn 22 starts over that time due to his solid blocking ability. He managed to record 74 receptions for 699 yards and 8 touchdowns over that time before he walked as a free agent. Now, the 109th pick in 2013 would be traded by the Dolphins, but this will be getting its own video, as this would lead to the selection of David Bakhitari. So that covers the Miami Dolphins. Let's look at the Denver Broncos. So Denver got a pair of picks from Miami, the first of which was the 43rd pick in the 2010 draft. This would be traded away, but we did discuss this pick during the Tim Tebow trade, as it was needed for Denver to trade up to get Tim Tebow. That trade will be linked in the description below. Now, the other pick that Denver got was the 2011 second rounder, which would become the 46th overall pick. This would be used to select offensive tackle Orlando Franklin. Now, Franklin would win the starting right tackle job as a rookie, and he was okay, as he did experience some hiccups, but that's always expected with a rookie, especially one who's not a first-round pick. Now, he would improve as a starting right tackle in 2012, and he held on to the job in 2013 as well. In 2014, he was actually moved to the left guard position, but that would be all she wrote for him, as he would walk after his rookie contract expired. So that's how Denver and Miami did. How did the other three teams do? Next, we're going to look at the Chicago Bears, of course. So the Bears would get wide receiver Brandon Marshall. Marshall, he was pumped to join Chicago, as the trade did reunite him with his former teammate Jay Cutler. And he responded to the move with a career year in 2012, as he would catch a career-high 118 receptions for a career-high 1,508 yards, along with 11 touchdowns. Now, he had another very strong season in 2013, as he recorded 100 receptions for 1,295 yards with 12 touchdowns. So he was pretty good, but then he did have a bit of an off year in 2014, as he managed to record 61 catches for 721 yards with 8 touchdowns through 13 games. Now, he would suffer 2 broken ribs and a collapsed lung in Week 14 of that year, which did cause the season to end early. Still, though, not the worst season for him. Now, Chicago would decide to trade him after the season, but we will not be discussing that trade. In Chicago, he was a 2-time Pro Bowler, a 1-time first-team All-Pro selection, and he was named one of the 100 greatest Chicago Bears of all time. Not bad for a historic franchise like the Bears when you only spent 3 years on the team. Next, we have the San Diego Chargers, who got the 73rd pick in 2012. They would use that to select safety Brandon Taylor. Now, Taylor would appear in 4 games, recording 6 tackles and half a sack before being placed on the IR. He would spend the 2013 season on the IR, or as a healthy scratch, and then he would be released. Lastly, we have the New Orleans Saints, who traded up to get the 82nd pick in the 2013 draft, which they would use to select defensive tackle John Jenkins. Now, over his 4 years in New Orleans, he would appear in 49 games, earning 22 starts across that time. During those games, he would amass 100 tackles, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and 1.5 sacks. All said and done, this was an interesting trade, as obviously Brandon Marshall was a very talented player, but he did manage to burn a lot of bridges with multiple teams. Of course, Denver and Miami, and even Chicago to an extent. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was the Brandon Marshall trade. Have a good rest of your day.